The storm had passed, the fences were mended, and life on the Hawthorne ranch had settled back into its quiet, familiar rhythm. But for Emily, a different kind of storm was brewing inside her heart. It was a tempest of doubt, a whirlwind of what-ifs, leaving behind a single, lingering question that only love could answer. Early one morning, as the first rays of sun painted the landscape in gold, Emily stood in the kitchen. A small packed suitcase sat on the floor beside her, a stark contrast to the apron she still wore. "Maybe this chapter's over," she whispered to the empty room, her voice barely audible. Maybe it's time to move on. She had arrived as a stranger, a cook looking for a job. But this place had become so much more, and that was the problem. Her gaze drifted to the counter, landing on a folded piece of paper, a note in Ethan's familiar, strong handwriting. She had tried to forget him, to push away the feelings that had taken root in her heart without her permission. But his words, his presence, lingered in every corner of the home she had unknowingly built, not with wood and stone, but with every meal she'd cooked, every laugh she'd shared. With a trembling hand, she reached for the note. Hesitation warred with a desperate need to know. She unfolded it, her eyes scanning the words as Ethan's voice echoed in her memory, soft and resonant. "If you ever decide to leave," it read, "I won't stop you. But if your heart tells you to stay, I'll be right where you left me, waiting by the oak tree." The oak tree, the same ancient sentinel that had weathered the storm with them, its branches a symbol of the strength she'd found here. He didn't know if she'd come. He couldn't be sure. But hope, much like the resilient Texas land, has a way of never giving up on those who tend it with care. And so, he waited, hat in hand. Ethan stood beneath its sprawling limbs, his gaze fixed on the horizon. Yet his thoughts were only of the house, of her, then a flicker of movement. The kitchen door creaked open. Emily stepped out, suitcase in hand, her silhouette framed by the morning light. A mix of longing and profound relief washed over the quiet space between them. The world seemed to hold its breath. "Heading somewhere?" Ethan asked, his voice steady, though his heart hammered against his ribs. A small hesitant smile touched Emily's lips. "I was thinking about it," she admitted, her eyes locking with his. "Until I remembered someone once told me I belonged here." He took a step closer, a breath of pure relief escaping him. And were they right? Her eyes glistened, reflecting the golden sunrise. Completely. They walked toward each other, then slowly, quietly, as if each step was a sacred vow. The space between them closed, filled with all the words left unspoken, all the moments that had led them right here. "I never knew how much I needed someone to see me," Ethan said, his voice thick with emotion. "Not as a name, not as a rancher, just as a man. And I never knew home could be a person instead of a place." Emily replied, her voice soft but sure. They stood so close now, the gentle wind rustling through the tall grass around them, a quiet witness to their reunion. A genuine heart-lifting smile spread across Ethan's face. "So what happens now, Miss Carter?" Emily let out a soft laugh, a sound of pure joy that danced on the morning air. "Well, Mr. Hawthorne," she said, her eyes sparkling, "I hear this ranch could use a permanent cook. Only if she promises to burn breakfast once in a while." He countered, his grin widening. "So I have an excuse to stay in the kitchen with her." She laughed through happy tears, a wave of belonging washing over her. "Deal." And just like that, life on the ranch found a new, brighter rhythm. Days were filled with stolen kisses in the kitchen as Emily cooked, the good-natured teasing of the cowboys echoing in the yard. Afternoons were for Ethan, teaching Emily how to ride, their shared laughter carrying on the wind as she finally found her balance. Before long, under the steadfast branches of that same old oak tree. They held a small wedding. It was simple, beautiful, and perfect, surrounded by the family they had chosen and the land that had brought them together. In the heart of Texas, two souls who had felt lost and adrift found something they had stopped searching for. Not just a love that healed, but a reason to stay, a reason to believe in forever again. As the sun began its descent, casting long shadows and painting the sky in fiery shades of orange and pink, Emily and Ethan sat together on the porch swing. Hand in hand, they watched the day come to a close, a comfortable silence settling between them. "You ever think about how it all started?" Emily asked softly, leaning her head on his shoulder. "Just one job posting and a bus ticket." Ethan smiled, tightening his grip on her hand. "And a cook who changed everything. Because sometimes, love doesn't arrive with a thunderous announcement or in a picture-perfect moment. Sometimes, it tiptoes in quietly, starts with a simple meal in a warm kitchen, and grows into a love story that finds its way home forever." Thank you so much for joining us for this heartfelt story. If you enjoyed it, please don't forget to like this video and subscribe to our channel for more tales of love and life. We'll see you next time.